everyone, and welcome to Wednesday Night Undressed. I am Dr. Orlando, as Mr. Jeremy likes to call me. In real life, I am Lewis Walton, also known as Lewis Orlando. We are starting without Mr. Jeremy tonight. I can't find a script. I can't do the threnody, the thrombustuous threnody in your logos, whatever the hell he says. So I am starting until Jeremy and Evo get here. In the meantime, I am joined by Kathleen.
Hello.
Mr. Brenan.
Hello.
And Fernando.
Hello.
All right, so I'm going to just go ahead and barrel in with our first question. And this was a question that was thought of by me because I really am 8 years old.
I really would have given you another 5-6 years on that, really.
No. Like my Mighty Max remote control van was like, if I go back and think of like my favorite Christmas toy of all time, it was this remote control truck when I was 8 years old. Eight is like the magic number. So anyway.
It's very Chinese.
You have to be a cartoon character. Pick what cartoon character you'd be and tell me why.
I'll tell you.
Sure.
I would be Bugs Bunny.
Why Bugs Bunny?
Why?
Because Bugs Bunny always wins. He never gets hurt. He plays jokes on people, and he gets the carrots. You know, Bugs Bunny is cool.
So here's the interesting thing. I wouldn't be Bugs Bunny because I never win.
Yeah. And the other problem is, why do you want to have to deal with Elmer Fudd just chasing you around and trying to shoot you the whole
He
time?
doesn't do it that much.
In fact, he almost never shoots at Bugs Bunny. That's the beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Bugs is dressed up in a dress and like flirting with him or whatever he needs to do to like prevent that from happening. So
he's very inventive.
Yeah. No, I strongly considered Mr. Bugs Bunny.
Actually, for a similar one for the always win, what about Roadrunner?
Well, yeah, but he gets tired. I mean,
true.
can you imagine just running around all your life being chased by this one guy? You never actually get stuff.
Yeah.
So as I'm looking at this question, I think immediately of the Roadrunner, and I think that's got to be Brenan. Like,
Okay.
just because Roadrunner's a racer. No. Okay, who would it be?
Carl Pewterschmidt from Family Guy. Lois's mom. Can I give you the good reasons why?
Go for it.
It's essentially, he only comes on once every like couple of episodes, and he's so fucking pretentious and douche nozzle. You kind of have to respect him a bit, and if there's any sort of questions about his ethics or anything, he's too rich to give a shit about it. That would
rich
be
characters. Didn't
that
think
would be
about
kind
that.
of nice just to. I'm too wealthy to give a shit about being ethical.
How about Mr. Burns?
No, because then you have to deal with the nuclear power plant. I have never seen what Carl Pewterschmidt actually does except sit in an armchair.
Yeah.
And yet he still stays thin. That's my point.
That's pretty cool.
Good living.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Mr. LaFord,
Please go first.
Well, I got a question for you though,
Oh,
because like
okay,
you
go
and I
for
were
it.
talking about this like right before the show started, and you talked about the Hanna-Barbera cartoons, and I
Right.
fully expected you to like give me some like esoteric Brazilian character that I've never heard of
No.
before.
I mean, there wasn't cartoons there. Like I remember, like when I was a kid, like it always blew my mind the Green Lantern, just because it was too cool looking and. But man, like I don't remember really anything. Like, what's the dog? The Hong Kong Fu?
Hong Kong Fooey. That's awesome.
He's a funny guy, but I mean, I don't want to be on their skin, Like I'm not seeing anyone that really fulfill, but like heroes or.
Have you ever thought about being like Popeye? Because I considered
I
olive oil.
I hate Popeyes.
Olive oil doesn't do much, but she's got these two guys after her all the time.
I like to fight for her.
I know. It's just amazing.
Maybe they.
Evo
Maybe
is
the
here.
chef from South Park
Oh.
would be a good one.
Hello, Evo.
Hey, what's going on,
We're
guys?
trying to talk about what cartoon character we might prefer to be.
Oh,
And all the good ones are taken, so you're too late.
like SpongeBob was taken.
No, it's
SpongeBob
not.
is not.
Who would
No.
want to be SpongeBob?
I would be SpongeBob. I am SpongeBob. In fact, if you think about it, I'm an agent of chaos. You know, it's just
and the
the
happiest-
completely absurdist behavior makes no sense. Maniacal, out of
I cannot get
control,
into that
just
one. No,
brings
tried.
in nonsensical.
Disturbs me.
It's
Yeah.
He's nonsensical.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Always
He's,
happy.
Yeah, always happy, always excited, even when things are going horribly wrong. He's excited.
Maybe
he's
that's the disturbing part.
yeah. Yeah, he's a good one.
Plankton.
You know, cartoons are just not a thing anymore. Car-
Thank you. Jim.
They really aren't, especially the way they were when we were kids.
yeah, I mean, all of them are disturbing. Monty and what's
Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty. Holy cow, that's disturbing. Although the grandfather is probably another person that kind of has. I have a little bit of his bizarre personality. The mad scientist guy. And the eternal party animal.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you have South Park.
I was trying to think of
Great
someone from
Dan
South
Vernon.
Park I could be.
Hello there, children.
Oh, what is
No, I was thinking about Eric Cartman, America's sweetheart.
too.
I
No.
didn't even cry. Okay, let me give you my diatribe because
Yeah.
I came up with this question, so I've got multiple answers. So, like, for me, my immediate guy is Speed Racer. Like, there's a lot of similarities between me and Speed. He's got the coolest car, he's got the cool chick, and he likes to talk in long soliloquies that really
we
explain
finally
the
found
plot.
a similarity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Speed Racer's just like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, when I was a kid, there was one person that I wanted to be, and it was Speed Racer. He had the cool car.
Yeah.
He knew karate. He was just a cool guy. So I wanted to be Speed Racer.
Oh, I know who I want to be.
Who?
Oh, he's the coolest of them all. Although he's probably should be reserved for Jeremy. is the British-speaking baby from Family Guy. Oh, Stewie, the evil genius, the world-dominating evil genius baby. He's the coolest
I
ever.
guarantee you, if you call Jeremy Stewie, he will not get it. He has
Oh,
no
yes.
idea who that is. None.
That is literally the only British-speaking cartoon I've ever seen. Ever, maybe. I don't know. There might be some other Igbo, but I can't think of any.
The only problem with Stewie is your only friend who understands you and gets you is a dog, who himself is kind of an unlikable.
Yeah, it kind of like Jeremy.
Jackass.
Oh no! It is not fair.
He's not even here
fair. I
to
call
like
foul.
feel the. Hey, we don't want him to defend himself. We just want him to feel bad.
It's not fair because his cat understands him too.
Oh, the since you brought up South Park, the one I would almost kind of want to be. I kind of
Yes.
want to be Token.
Not Kenny, right?
Token is
Oh, my.
one of my absolute favorite characters.
I love Token.
There's an episode where Cartman decides to start the boy band,
Yes.
and he
yes.
goes up to Token and hands him a bass guitar and says, "Here, Token, play this." And Token's like, "I don't play bass guitar." And Cartman says, "What are you talking about? All black people play bass guitar."
God.
And Token picks up the guitar and just starts playing it like
and he just
like,
says,
"Damn it." He's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. Okay, so I've got the rest of my list. So like in direct opposition to what Kath said earlier, like I would pick Wile E. Coyote because he is a super genius and he always fails.
Because
Wile E.
he's
Coyote
a really
is a super
stupid.
genius?
That's his name.
He's not.
Wile E. Coyote, super genius. That's how he
not.
introduces himself.
Yeah, but he's not a super genius.
Right.
He's-
That's kind of the point. he's
Yeah.
he's. I don't know if you say he's faking or he's. Yeah, I don't know.
Every cartoon character that I can think of has major deficiencies, and I have some of my traits I see in some cartoon characters, but not like some cartoon character that I want to be. For example, do you remember? Oh, thank you. That cartoon character, there was a girl, and she was in high school, and she was the main character, and was
Daria?
very sarcastic.
Daria?
Yeah, very sarcastic. I mean, I love her sarcasm. I love it. But this this passive part of her is I don't agree. But I really like how quick she was with the sarcastic
Gotcha.
remark. Also, the psychiatrist guy was fantastic.
Dr. Katz?
Dr. Katz.
Dr. Katz is great. I wouldn't have thought about that.
Why am I?
Holy crap.
Dr. Katz.
The more
You
I-
have to watch Dr. Katz.
No, I've seen Daria. Honestly, I don't like it that much.
But Dr. Katz, you gotta check out Dr. Katz.
Why am I
And
thinking of
his
all
son.
of these cartoon people who are just insanely wealthy, and I'm thinking, that's exactly who I want to be.
Scrooge
like
McDuck.
Scrooge. Actually, Proud Family, Wizard Kelly. Yeah.
So I just made the final answer for me. I'm not going to ever change. I want to be Archer. If you guys have ever seen Archer, everything that is great about Speed Racer, Archer has in triplicate, and he's drunk all the time.
You know,
Phrasing.
also
Phrasing.
different times of the day, you're different cartoon characters.
Yeah.
Like in the morning, I'm Woody Woodpecker.
That's
Damn, Evo.
And who was the guy with Scooby Doo?
Shaggy.
I could be
Shaggy.
Scooby Doo.
Shaggy's my guy.
Just
I could be-
Scooby
I could
snacks
be-
all the time.
Yeah.
Nobody brought up Beavis and Butthead.
Good.
Nobody
Thank
brought
God.
up Beavis and Butthead.
Who would like
Or
to
Dora
be
the
Beavis
Explorer.
Butthead?
I really.
Or Caillou. Nobody wants to be Caillou.
No one
Caillou
wants
is,
to
yeah,
be.
that
No,
bald.
that's why no one also wants to be Brian Griffin because no one wants to be hated by everyone around them and
Yeah.
say,
Right.
"Shut up."
Right. No, I agree. All
Yeah,
right.
there's some, there's some characters that should be banned by law. Like the fucking Teletubbies.
Yeah.
The Teletubbies are the scariest freaking psychedelic bitches ever.
No, I would say Caillou is number one on the get this off TV.
You know, I don't know of any parents that have ever enjoyed Caillou. Were your
I did
kids?
not- I'm not
Okay.
familiar with
Emil
Caillou.
loved them.
No.
Emil loved Caillou for some reason.
It wasn't too bad.
Emil
Watching
loved
a
him.
little bit. I mean, I could take small doses, but I think Curious George kind of annoys me way more. Like
Really?
watching the cartoon. Yes, I hate to.
Well, most of the people that I hear complain about Caillou are complaining that he is literally setting a bad example for kids.
Exactly.
in the way that he
Exactly.
behaves.
Yeah.
So, and it's a unique cartoon in that it's basically teaching kids social
Yeah,
dynamics.
it's very.
But it teaches kids social dynamics by having Caillou do the wrong thing and then having his parents sort of redirect. And his parents are,
And he takes. I
Yeah.
mean, there is.
Do they redirect or they come up and go, "Stop it, quack"?
That's
Okay,
pretty
but
much
I
it.
mean,
sometimes there's a punt kick.
The
you
big
know.
blue dog.
right.
That's
I mean-
disturbing. Yeah,
Clifford.
Yes.
Yeah.
Caillou, Dora the Explorer.
Barn.
I always think of Caillou. That I hate. I can't stand this. I remember telling my kids, yeah, she's yelling. And she's saying again, she's yelling.
See, I
Like,
Dora the
actually
Explorer?
loved
Dora the
Dora the
Explorer, I
Explorer.
hate
Dora
you
the fucking
death.
Explorer. I can't stand her.
No, see,
It drives
the
me crazy.
backpack
there
and the
was
throw,
this, like,
whatever. Like,
repetition thing that they would do, and that I
my
just
God.
found fascinating. So I don't know. I think I'm
Do-
not out
do you
now.
I thought
count,
there was
um,
any repetition. I forgot about that.
Kermit
Is
the
that right?
Frog and Miss Piggy and so on. Are they cartoon characters?
No.
So they had a show called
Sesame Street
Muppet
stuff.
Babies, where there were like
Oh,
mini
Oh,
God.
they were then
Muppets. Yeah.
cartoons. Yeah.
But yeah, that was
No, we don't want to go there because then we'll end up talking about Barney.
yeah, that's true. We probably don't want to talk
Yeah.
about Barney.
Should we move next question?
Yeah, let's go to the next question. All right.
Oh, I love this next question. I love this next question because
Oh, he's cracking his knuckles ready.
yeah.
Okay, let's
Okay,
tell
we're going to talk about sports betting. So, what
Bet
was
you we
the
don't.
the Ba-dum-ching. So sports betting is really kind of going to become a thing now. The Supreme Court has just said you
States
guys
can legalize it.
Yeah, states can legalize it. So is this a good thing? Like
Yes.
Tell me why.
Because one of the things I will say, it's going to happen anyway. As you've noted on the fact sheet here, it does happen anyway, to the tune of $200 frickin' billion a year. Also to the point of, I can go on a website right now, a fairly reputable website based out of Latvia called Bovada, and I can bet.
Hold on. You just said a fairly reputable site based out of Latvia.
Yes.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah.
dark web.
No, it's not dark web. It's like, yeah. I could go on there right now and bet any sort of money right now on any sort of football game or race.
And
or,
you put credit card numbers into this site
I do, yes, and it's never been stolen.
that you know of. Yes, go on.
They're very reputable in Latvia.
No, they are they are reputable.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's mainly because it's going to happen anyway. Keeping it illegal, I think, opens it up for non-reputable sites, because trust me, there are a good few, to be plenty shady. I've heard plenty of stories from other people who gamble online and with other bookies who they'll win something by the razorest thins of margins, and then, oh, the line changed, or oh, there was a mishap and you don't get your money back. You don't get the bet you put in, and you also don't get your winnings. Of course, there's never a problem when you lose, but yeah.
So there's like this list of topics that are forming. Like, first of all, this $200 billion that they're talking about spending illegally. Like, is that? Do you think that we'll see that kind of return if it becomes legal? That's one question.
Yeah.
There's this other set of questions over here that are all about like the social, moral, like societal ramifications of like making sports betting legal. Handle either one of those you want, or both.
I will happily handle the social one because that's the biggest. That's the biggest one I feel ready to counteract. If the states cared at all about the social things, they wouldn't be advertising lotteries on television. If they cared anything about triggering problem gamblers or addicted gamblers, or if they cared anything about actually making it where it's a moral thing where we can't wager money, we wouldn't be seeing lottery advertisements on television. We would not be seeing states making apps on your phone where you can buy virtual scratch-off lottery tickets. And we would not be seeing Kansas say, okay, we can have a few casinos all around that, of course, have individual deals set up with the states, but not all of them, because these are different reasons.
Yeah, I'm actually going to agree with Brenan.
Oh, really?
About that. Because I liken it to alcohol and forbidding alcohol. It doesn't work. People are still going to do it. You might as well get some regulations in there so you can help out to make it safer.
And tax it.
Tax
Don't you find it curious that this decision, after all these decades, Supreme Court decides on this exactly at the time where the tax revenues are about to get decimated by the preposterous giveaway to the rich. And so it's very, very surprising decision, because it wasn't even in the murmur. It wasn't in the conversation. Nobody was talking. Suddenly, bam, it's out there.
But you know what
agree.
that's going to do? It means that the states are going to start advertising it.
Yeah.
I don't. What would you think if the states advertised buying more booze? Go out and drink because we get a lot of tax from that. Woohoo!
Well,
I mean.
They do it in
states
Europe.
don't put up advertisements for booze because it would be immoral.
But
just like advertising for the goddamn lottery is immoral. And advertising for online betting would be immoral.
But they do.
Well, that's what I was going to say. They already do advertise.
It's immoral.
Gotcha.
But not for the cigarettes.
That's one of the things that makes me maddest of all. Encouraging people to go spend their money on, I'm a mathematician, on useless tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and that's the reason I like sports betting being legal, because the other realm to do it, lottery, is I'm a statistics nut as well. I'm just about to graduate. I just graduated with my degree in accounting. I know exactly why you don't bet on lotteries. Sports gambling, there's actually ways to beat it, because you're not trying to base it on statistical outcome. They're trying to base it on...
There may be, but you don't advertise it to every Yahoo who thinks that their hunch is going to make them $1 million.
Oh, yes, you will, because that's exactly how the state's going to make money off it.
Well, they shouldn't. That would be the immoral part.
There's, sports gambling is becoming more and more kind of a not a guess game if you use the right tools. Like, for example, Billy Walters. You know about Billy Walters? He's the greatest sports gambler of all time, multi-millionaire, started from...
Is that the guy from The King of Pong?
No.
That's Billy Moore.
Yeah.
No, that's...
Billy Walters is the greatest gambler of all time. He's the most legendary gambler. By the way, he's currently in prison for something unrelated. But... he ran some kind of Ponzi scheme, but he was part of the original legendary computer group. There was a guy called Michael Kent who developed a software program in the 80s. And armed with that program, he approached Billy Walters. Together, they created a network of people, gamblers. They started the computer group. They made tens of millions of dollars. And the way they did it, they would enter variables. How far away is the team playing from their home? how hundreds and if not thousands of variables, players' tendencies, how does certain player play away from home, how does he play at home, do the team play crazy stuff like do they play better in rain, do they play, it's amazing. So they made a lot of money in the 80s. Now there's amazing programs like this, incredible programs. If you're armed with the right tools, with the right software, you can minimize the gambling element of it, and you can create controlled environment, and you can win a lot of money. So a lot of people have turned this into their profession. In Europe, in my country, it's been allowed for a long time. We have this thing called Euro football.
Euro football.
Oh yeah.
So, and there's like kiosks everywhere. Wherever you go, the entire country is peppered with offices of Eurofootball. You walk in, you make a wager, you can wager on by how many goals the team's going, and so on. And it's a huge thing. It's very popular. At the same time, what worries me is exactly this, the controlled environment. Because if enough money are on the line, you will find a way to influence the outcome of the game. Like we've seen this in the past, like Jack Molinas, the great criminal Jack Molinas. They made the movie with Burt Reynolds and later with Adam Sandler, The Final Yard, was it? Longest Yard. That was about Molinas. He basically bribed hundreds of college basketball players to throw games. This is going to happen again. It's going to happen. It's when so much money are on the line, it's going to happen. At the same time, I kind of agree with you guys that you have to legalize it because people will do it anyway. You gotta legalize it, you gotta tax it, you also have to legalize marijuana, and you have to legalize prostitution. It's about time. If I want to sell my finely tuned, sculpted body for money, please, why not?
And of course, the female population is begging the country to allow you to do that.
I know.
It should be. People
Okay,
need to.
Fernando, you are my last hope. Are you going to disagree with these people?
No, I don't.
Fuck.
Because something tells me you're not about to disagree with it either.
No, I was completely in line
But I
with
mean,
that kind of thought.
and you know,
yeah.
the gambling is there. Like this is not gonna change whoever. I mean, I feel like I'm very. If I go, when I step into a casino, it makes me very depressed to see those people that keep hanging there, like drain their money, and it's off. I mean, one thing you go there, like spend $50 or have a lot to waste just for fun, you know, go to a party of friends. But you see, like when I was in some training and workshop in a casino, like you see they open the doors, you're having breakfast, people just coming in, like it's one of the most depressing things I've ever
had
seen.
a point there that when you get huge money involved, it is going to inevitably attract the mobs, and it's going to be increased crime.
Can I counter that already with we already see billions of dollars every year bet on the Super Bowl. We see it bet in the World Cup. We
Prop
see it
bets and
prop bets. We see it bet on the World Cup. We see it bet in
Fantasy football.
Euro, like the Champions League final, and
Boxing.
And I know association football officials are not the greatest people to associate with integrity, but we've already seen it. We've seen how it plays out, and we have events all over the world that show that hasn't happened.
I mean, hell, Conroy's been running an illegal gambling operation from the storage room for years now.
No,
Show the camera,
I'm the person
show
who
the-
I
runs
really
it.
didn't want you to mention that.
No, I'm the person who runs it. I'm the bookmaker for that.
Okay, so trying to take the other side at least a little bit. What do you say to folks that will respond to that argument with saying that gambling hurts the part of society that can suffer that damage the least? Like, it's going to disproportionately affect the poor because in a lot of cases it's going to be the only way that Johnny's going to make his rent money this month.
Because I think we have to take it with the reality of the situations of looking how the states have individually decided if they're going to care about it now.
Yeah.
We already know by scientific studies that's exactly what the lottery does as well.
Yeah.
And we have, as I mentioned, we have states advertising the lottery on television, on the internet, trying to make apps on your phone, which the state of Illinois does, that you can just endlessly scratch off lottery ticket,
Really?
scratch off lottery ticket, scratch off lottery ticket.
Oh,
Really?
The state of Illinois does that.
You know
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Also, because of lost revenue from taxes, because of the current laws, they're going to actually generate a lot of tax
It's
money
not
for
lost
each.
revenue if you never
Yeah.
had it.
Yeah, but this kind of illegal gambling, legalizing, is going to generate a lot of tax money, and then these tax money can be used to support the poor people, give them more money so they can use them for gambling.
Yeah, but we're not hearing anything about like what the money is going to be used for. We're hearing
Well, you can use certain areas to look at that, like with how Colorado is starting to spend its marijuana tax money
Right.
for. And I will say, I have driven through Colorado before the before the marijuana legalization happened, and now I'm driving there like every freaking month.
Are you high?
And everybody's driving really, really, really slow.
People are driving way better. Is the way? But I'm gonna say, the roads are way nicer now.
Oh, I
the
can
roads
believe
are
it.
Everybody's driving
way
slow.
nicer.
Are you high, man?
Yeah.
All right, next question. We have talked about this before. I just want to get the panel's opinion. Like, this is one of those things I just kind of like to check in to see if because we have a different range of ages here on the panel. Are we making a mistake by referring to this device as a cell phone or as a?
Well, that's your shoe, dear.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Do we really use these things as phones anymore? Like, do you really use your phone?
Oh yeah, I have to.
How many calls did you make today?
Today? 3.
How many did you receive?
I received 1 and I made 2.
How many times did you text?
Way more.
I probably make roughly the same number of calls and texts because I just don't use my phone for that. I don't look at it enough, and therefore I don't answer people, and so they stop texting. It works.
Yeah.
It works, folks. Just don't answer.
I use it as a iPod. I just use my phone mostly to listen to podcasts and music, and occasionally I'll make a phone call. Very rarely, maybe like 2-3 a day, really. And then I don't know how the fuck did they do that, but the telemarketers have discovered our cell phone numbers and are driving me insane.
So I was showing Evo earlier today. Like, I signed up for one of the caller ID services that are offered through the phone company on my phone, and now there's a whole litany of numbers that just show up as spammer
Yeah.
on my phone, which is helpful.
There's a couple of apps you can do that where you don't have to pay your phone company for that. I have one on mine.
Oh, really?
I have one on mine called Mr. Number that does that just as well.
You mean I can get this wonderful service for free?
No, it's it's free, but you have to give your phone number to and they're gonna distribute it to many people.
No, it's ever since I've had this. It auto blocks known spam, and it also will tell you if it's not known spam. It'll put a name to the number.
All right, so this thing is a camera. It is a entertainment center. It is
internet portal.
an internet portal. Like,
Mine's
why
a
do-
really good paperweight.
encyclopedia.
Okay, and a paperweight.
Yeah.
So why do we call them phones?
Well, they're not, and the official name is something else, right? It's like some personal
Smartphones.
smartphone. It should be something
mobile.
like personal device or something.
Yeah, remember the
Can't
PDA?
help.
PDA,
Yeah, it's not a
crap,
PDA,
it did nothing.
it's
and
like-
this.
Palm Pilot, remember? Palm Pilot?
Yeah.
Like these.
They're one of our sponsors.
I find it interesting that like this device combines so many different technologies and tools.
Yeah.
And for some reason, we're stuck calling it the one thing that we don't use it for anymore.
Can I?
And everybody thought that phones were going to be put onto watches, right?
Well, they are. I got a phone over here.
I know, but you still carry your phone.
Right.
I have my
Well,
Casio
can I
watch calculator.
Oh,
The data bank.
Yeah.
Can I give you the big
Casio.
reason why I think we still call this phones?
Sure.
Watch how much this sells if it doesn't have a phone in it.
That's true. The iPods.
The iPod Touch sold like
They
trash.
went nowhere. That's a good point.
Yeah, watch how much these sell when they don't put a phone in them.
I hate it when a Conroy makes a good point. I feel like it's just time to move on now.
He's done that a couple of times.
Yeah,
I don't
I know.
know.
It's
You're not going
like,
to get invited back.
Yeah.
Good, just leave me alone.
All right. Next question.
We can't get through these too fast. Jeremy is going to show up.
It has
Eventually.
been 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, then
Jeremy's
I know
not-
he can give his introduction as the end.
You know what? That
Hang
would not
on,
be a bad
everybody.
idea.
Welcome to
Everybody-
Rumbustuousness.
Yes,
Yeah.
everybody that's listening would then be able to turn off. They would actually be able to hear the whole show.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like that idea.
Okay. Yeah.
Do the introduction as an outro.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Yeah, Jeremiah.
All right.
He's who knows where he is.
Yeah.
Where is he?
He is Eric, the producer, is changing jobs.
Yes.
And the radio station across the way is having his
Go
his
away, going away.
Wiedersehen party. Yes.
Yeah, what a legend at the station he is. He's done everything there. And
Yeah.
He's going to be missed. Forever and ever there will be an Eric-shaped hole in their hearts. You know?
That's a big hole.
Yeah.
Big hole in our hearts.
Yeah.
All right. One more question. This is a Jeremy question. Is losing weight and being thin just a passing fad, particularly if one is already fit and ridiculously good looking?
We talked about it last time, didn't we? Or-
No, we skipped that one.
We skipped
we
it?
skipped
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
How many times can I say no? To this?
Not a passing fad?
You don't
Yes.
think it's a passing? You think it is a passing fad?
No, how many times can I say it's not a passing fad?
Oh,
It's important.
It's important. You need to be healthy to live. That's the whole reason I lost all the
It's a
weight.
passing fad for me. I pass that fad like 4 times every year.
But you keep coming back to it.
Well, look,
That's true.
there he is.
Holy
Finally.
Oh my God, he showed up. Okay.
Jeremy!
All right, Jeremy, you have to do the introduction and ask your own question at the end. Like,
We're
showed
on
up
the
right on time.
next to the last one. We're
yes,
doing
we
the
are
losing
discussing
weight.
the losing weight question.
And
you
it's,
gotta do
it's
the
your
intro.
question, so tell us what you think about losing
It's
weight.
a fad.
No, it's
Why do you
not.
think it's a
No,
fad? And you're actually, just to be
Sorry, I came late.
To be clear, I agree with Jeremy. I think it's a fad. Explain your reasoning.
Well, I believe that if you think about why do you do it, the first question is why do you do it? Why do you want to lose weight?
I'm still
And
trying to work out the fact that I agree with you. Keep going.
And the answer is nothing to do with your health. In reality, it's because you want to look fantastic for the opposite sex. You want to be able to wear
Or
a
same sex, whichever.
or same sex. Now, for people like Evo and I, who are already ridiculously good looking,
Dangerously handsome.
dangerously
Ridiculously
handsome,
Evo, give us
dangerously handsome.
the hypothetical horizon look for just a second.
Yeah. Oh, we call this the Western. Yes. Hello, girls. Hello, big boy.
Oh, I'm Chuck Shelley. Oh.
The Magnum. The blue steel.
Hello,
blue
big boy.
steel
The
arm.
helicopters are on their way. So it's about looks, isn't it? All right. But in Victorian times, 100 and something years ago, I wouldn't be considered heavy at all. And
You'd just look rich. Because only the wealthy
and so
could eat enough.
the women, you could be thin if you wanted, but it didn't, it wasn't about weight.
But
It
that
was
ex-
about being interesting.
So you're saying people were heavier back then, it was okay?
Oh, they definitely were.
Yeah, and that's
Fact of
why
life.
life expectancy was 35 years
So
old.
no, and I think both of these thoughts combined in my mind at least. And for me, it's a case of like we're at a stage in our like societal structure where we can afford to be thin. So as long as like the world can afford to like not have to worry about where the next calorie is coming from, or at least the upper echelons of society, the 1% that we are, this is only a concern for us. If the bottom fell out tomorrow, nobody would give a good goddamn if you were thin or fat. You would literally be scrounging for food.
Right.
If you were a little plump, if you were fat, you would be considered wealthy in the past, right? It would be a sign of wealth, and you'd be desirable even.
Yes, we'd want to eat you.
Yeah.
I mean, the Brits and the Bulgarians, we'd have you on the spit so fast you wouldn't know what happened.
Yes.
Hold on. There were
the song
no
about
rumors
if I
of
were a rich man.
Bulgarians being cannibals.
I'd see my wife, my Golda, looking like a rich man's wife with a proper double chin.
Longevity science claims that fasting currently is the only way known to prolong human life.
Right.
Well,
Intermittent fasting, it's called, not constantly fasting.
Have you done that? Have you started doing that?
I've done it every once in a while. I've gone up, but you have to be consistent. Like do it every few months. I don't know.
Intermittency has to be consistent.
Yes, yes. Well, meaning that you can't do it like once every 3 months and then stop for a year. You have to maintain that intermittency.
So you have to be supervised.
Well, by yourself.
What I do know is the shows that I've been doing in another place, we've been looking at nursing homes or assisted living and stuff like that. And we've been working with 3 large regional operators. And they have stats that show that if the folk who move into one of these assisted living operations, late 70s, early 80s, and they feel that they need to have this sort of care, they have discovered that if the folk turn up, watch telly, eat food, and that's pretty much it, it's going to be approximately 18 months before they move into another form of assisted living. Whereas it is 50-something months if they use the gym twice a week in a proper way.
Yeah.
And I don't know what 50 months is, but I do know 48 is 4 years. So,
That's pretty close.
and so you're getting 4.5 years if you do regular exercise. And so I have no doubt that when my doctor said to me when I discovered I got diabetes, he said, I want you to run, walk, whatever.
Yes.
For 3/4 of an hour. He said, not jog, don't jog.
Walk fast.
Walk fast, as if you're late for a train.
Yeah.
And those were his words. And when I was doing that, I was considerably fitter. The problem is where I live now, the yahoos think, oh, look, English person on the road, we can run him over if we can get close enough.
Yeah.
You mean I should stop sending out
I wish
those
you
texts?
wouldn't. But yeah, I just wonder how much of losing weight. I mean, if it was a thing, wouldn't they do losing weight adverts in July and October?
I think it's absolutely a thing. I think that it is a product of our society, and I think that as long as our society exists in the current setting, it will continue to be a thing. I think it will outlive all of us, but I think that there's a definite possibility that we could see something that happens that takes us back to a place where being fat is what's cool.
I have a question. What is this damn cold fat freezing type thing? There's an ad on TV.
Have you seen this before, Mr. Ivanov?
Apparently you freeze off some fat and they get rid of it somehow.
Cryo fat treatments where
Cryo?
It's not the whole body thing. It's the thing where they basically expose you to cold and it causes your body to shrink.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Science behind it.
Well, the cryotherapy that you're talking about, entering the cryotherapy like a chamber.
This is the
it's
chamber.
not a chamber.
It's not
It's
the
just
chamber.
localized treatments. They say your belly can go from this to this.
Well, because
and
the
that is
fat cells
affectation,
shrink.
isn't it?
under extreme, but also you can get frostbite.
I'm just thinking
So-
that is not getting fitter. That is, as you say, just going with the fad of, I think I'll take off a few of the cells from around here.
Yeah, no, that's not the right way to go. I mean, when we're talking about cryotherapy, it's extremely popular and it's effective.
Yeah.
When you enter you've seen the cylinders, the cryo chambers. You walk in,
That's if you can get in one.
and there's a liquid nitrogen flowing through, and it's incredibly cold. I mean, we're talking like minus 300 degrees or something.
Yeah.
But as long as you don't touch anything with your bare skin, you'll be okay for
You go into a place that's that cold?
yeah, for 30 seconds. What happens is your immune system gets engaged. There's parts of your body that repair muscle tissue, and they get activated under extreme conditions. That's why people take ice baths.
I was going to say, is that why people
Yeah.
jump into the ice
Yeah.
and then get out and
This
solve it?
has been the first team to do it in the United States was the Dallas Mavericks. They were the oldest team in the league, and they won the championship. They beat shockingly the Miami Heat with
The guys that were
LeBron,
taking an ice bath. beat
Chris
the Heat.
Bosh, and Dwayne Wade, and they did it. They were the first ones to use it, and even though they were so old, their recovery time
Was
got
so-
shortened severely, so they were able to recover quickly and were really fantastic.
He's actually 173. He doesn't look even half of that.
No.
What I think you want to try, everybody who's listening to this, doesn't matter how old you are, try this one. Next time someone says, "How old are you?" and it might happen in the hairdressers, where people cut your hair or who knows where, add 10 years to your real. Add 10 years.
Yeah.
They will then say, "Wow, you're never."
Yeah.
You're never. So, in Lewis's
No, it's
case,
dangerous. It's dangerous
70.
doing that.
If you said 70, right? People will say you're never 70 years old.
You know what, Jeremy? You can
look
just go ahead and
damn
leave.
good.
How old are you,
We were
Jeremy?
doing fine before you got here.
It's too
So-
dangerous. You say
so-
you add 10 years, and they say, "Oh, that's what I would have said." You're never gonna recover from that
Yeah.
kind of
Good
slam.
point.
Come on, one of our dear friends thought you were 10 years younger than you actually
And I
are.
didn't have to add to my age to do it.
I mean, look at Conroy. What's Conroy? He's got to be.
It's got to be at least
65
30,
a day
35.
over
37.
70.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He lost 70 pounds in one day, but he was in England
Yeah.
and just lost his money.
Ba-dum-ching.
So yeah, it's important to lose weight, not just to look good. It's important to lose weight and keep it off for your health. For, purpose, delay or just completely avoid diabetes. Your joints, as you get older, your joints, the pressure on your joints and your ligaments becomes unbearable. And if you want to live an active lifestyle and move and run and play until you're really, really old, you gotta be fit. You can't carry the excess weight. It's going to destroy your joints and your back.
Didn't we know somebody? Now, let me think. Who was it who was playing basketball when he shouldn't have done? And, and he discovered that really it did him in a bit, didn't it, Evo?
Yeah, that's a friend of mine. But it's important. That's why it's important to keep the weight off in the winter, so you don't suffer more serious injury. Yeah, well, in the
That's
winter
what
we tend
do.
to
The
add
Europeans
weight,
tend to hibernate a lot.
Metabolism slows down in the winter, not just the bears, but everybody. And we have gyms everywhere, so we can stay active. Yeah, good old gym.
All right. I think it is time for the final question of the evening, and I am going to offer to defer to our typical host, Mr. Jeremy, to see if he wants to ask the last question.
He's ordering food at the moment.
So if he's offering food, then
Well, I was interested in a question that you and I were talking about, Dr. Orlando, which was about college and the cost of college. Our stepdaughter, went to one of the most exclusive universities on the planet, and it basically cost what people here in America would consider beer money. I mean, it cost.
Because it was in the UK.
because it's in the UK. And to go to what would be considered one of the 2 Ivy League universities, maybe the top 5 universities in the world, and it was probably, call it $1,000 a month, £1,000 a month ish.
Month?
Yeah.
No.
A year.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was peanuts, right?
So like the cost of 2 drinks here at Conroy's.
Ish.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering whether or not there would be a way where kids can go to university and they don't have to take on $100,000 worth of borrowing. And I found myself wondering, well, how would they do that? The lovely Brenan here has just graduated, literally.
Brenan, he called you lovely. I want to make sure you caught that.
And which is really cool, and he's going to become a Wall Street. What are they? A fox? Is it foxes or what are they? Wolf or Wall Street or something?
A wolf of Wall Street.
He's going to
Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, Wolf. Yeah, he's going to steal people's money and all that sort of thing.
Yes, because that's fun to do.
Yeah. But
Especially
really,
Brits.
I'm thinking, well,
Still
that's,
British people's money. Yeah.
Here, it is not a right to go to school. It's not a right to have health care, and I'm thinking, well, how might one do it? And I'm thinking, well, exams could be something.
Yeah.
You've got to pass to get into university.
Like in Europe, it's very hard.
You have to pass exams to get in. There's no reason why colleges couldn't be sponsored by companies. Oh, thank you. Can I? Oh, Conroy is actually handing out sponsorship money.
Make it rain, Conroy. Make it rain.
Yeah. I just wondered whether, Americans have this thing about if you want it, you have to pay for it, right? It's like Trump and sex. If you want it, you've got to pay for it. I mean, it's reasonable. And I just wondered what you guys thought.
Whereas Americans are bisexual. If they want sex, they have to buy it.
Yeah.
Oh, jing. So is that I remember when a certain old white guy was running for president a year and a half ago, he brought up this topic of free education, free public education.
Yeah.
And it was like the source of the laugh track for most of the election.
Whereas the rest of the world has had this forever.
I think,
And you're starting to hear more about it here now.
Yeah.
It's still in hushed, quiet areas, but you're at least hearing people talk about it.
Yeah. What do you think, Brian? You were freshly out of school.
You're the financial guy.
okay. Well, a couple of things. One, if you are low income, there already are a lot of ways that you are helped. Because...
Like what?
Oh, really?
Well, for example, for me, if you come in with a 3.0 GPA from high school and you qualify for Pell Grants, you get your 15 credit hours of basic education. That's paid for. That's part of a scholarship.
Right.
15 hours.
15 hours a semester.
So...
Per semester. So
what is this, 30%?
Oh no, that's all of that. That was my entire tuition bill for my first 2 years, and then about 70% of my tuition bill for the next 2 years because business school costs more.
So is that available to everyone?
Everyone, if you come in with a 3.0 and you qualify for Pell Grants and you maintain a 2.5,
How do you qualify for Pell Grants?
Yeah.
you have to be below a certain income level. You have to be
And be accepted at a
Yeah.
college.
yeah.
It actually works.
No, it does. I get Pell Grants. I have to get Pell Grants every year because we don't make a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
So how is that fundamentally different from free college?
Because it helps because it's free college, but it assists people more on an income need level basis. Also, it's something specifically offered by KU. It's not done at the state level, but it's a specific KU level scholarship to match the Pell Grant up to that level.
But the source, who's paying this is the
This
state?
this is from KU.
Okay, okay.
So why shouldn't there be a federal program that does exactly what you just described?
Because well, one, the federal government I don't think is directly involved with education as much as you guys are
mean
making
like that Pell Grant?
Well, they are involved in Pell Grants, but they aren't directly involved in funding universities.
Yeah, but can I just intercede just 1 second? If the president said to the Secretary of Education,
Let's imagine Trump saying this.
yeah, but just say, this is going to happen.
Right.
And everybody goes, yes, Mr. President, but that's very courageous and you mustn't and all that. And he goes, uck off. We are going to give kids who get a certain level, right? We as a government will invest in those kids. I don't really understand what the level would be, but they get a really
You can
good
do the
at
math.
high school.
Yeah, you can
right?
figure it out. Yeah.
They get a free ride, and what that means is that free ride means education is free, right? And all the kids have to pay for, say, is their accommodation and beer money, and a bit of food.
And whore money. Don't
Yeah.
forget the whore money.
So basically,
How am I going to make a living?
So usually what the right says when like Bernie brought that up, they said, "Oh my God, it's going to fall apart. The education's going to fall apart. Universities will be overcrowded with people who they're not college material. They will not have the material." Infrastructure to maintain the education. The classes will be enormous. The professors will not care. You can't compete. The money has to come from somewhere. You got to pay the professors. You got to buy stuff. So that's the right. That's what the right would say.
So you're saying basically the right is full of shit.
I think they are.
Okay.
Also, don't forget that the ruling party currently, they hate higher education.
Yeah.
They are enemy of higher.
yeah.
They believe that kids are getting indoctrinated in universities with liberal propaganda.
Yeah, that's why it's states that get in trouble, like Kansas has cut their university funding so much.
They're not interested in people receiving higher education. I think higher education definitely helps the entire country and the future and everybody. In the rest of the world, even you going to the Sorbonne in France, in Paris, one of the most respected universities, you pay 500 euros a year for tuition. 500.
Can you convert that to American dollars for us that are
Let's say
American-educated?
$600 a
Well, I
year.
can tell you, Cambridge is or was $14,000 a year.
That's steep for Europe. But
And I can actually say another one because my partner went to the University of Glasgow for his veterinary education, and that was one of the reasons I was going when Jeremy was talking about international tuition, because if he were to ever go back to Britain, still owes about £70,000 in student loans.
that's very expensive. I've never heard of this.
right?
I know that all of the top most expensive universities are in the United States.
Look at-
all of
Yeah.
them.
No,
all of them.
look at-
There might be a couple in Europe. I have
Just
looked.
say, I don't know, but I do know what my stepdaughter cost to go to Cambridge, and her friends and so on. If you had, you have to. One of the things that they do in different countries, certainly in the UK, is you take exams at the end of high school.
Yeah.
Right. Which are called A levels.
No.
No,
I know.
And those exams, different levels, determine what schools you can get into.
No, I know about that.
And I assure you, I don't know what he paid for, but the other thing is the military are doing it. If the military is, it's free.
Yeah. No, but he has to get good A levels to go to University of Glasgow's veterinary school. That's one of the most respected.
Oh, but you didn't say that.
No, that's exactly what I said.
No, sorry, I missed veterinary. So what that means is that he has gone through doctor school,
Yeah.
right? As in human doctor school, and then goes on to do veterinary. That's what they do in the UK.
No, he did not go through that.
But he
No, he has his veterinary license, and he could tell you all about his education. He never had to go through human medical school.
Yeah, that's very surprising.
You start at doctor school and you go through veterinary.
I think it's a shortened
I
course
know
on
to
biology.
go to freaking Stanford here, you have to have cool $200,000. So you got to be a millionaire to be able to go. It's just ridiculous. There's got to be some kind. And also, there's something else. I was talking to a professor at KU recently, and he said when people were paying a lot of money, he was talking about his own students. He told me when people were paying a lot of money, they feel extremely entitled. They come to you and say, "Why don't you give me an A? It's my right. I've paid money here. I've paid money. You have to pay me back." it's really bizarre. He says it's.
Yeah,
I try to talk about, principles in educational, morality in education, and they're like, no. I paid. I need my payback here.
Right.
So it's
I
very
expect
bizarre.
he tries to tell them,
There's gotta be a
hey, you
happy
paid that
medium.
money and now you're wasting it by not working hard enough to get a good grade, you idiot.
But we are a market economy, and obviously, how about this? Public universities free, and there can be private universities that, if you choose to do so, and maybe the Glasgow University is private, I don't know.
Oh no, it's public.
But you pay serious money. In New York, Cuomo, the governor, decided to make all 4-year education free, right?
Right on.
Yes.
Just happened like 2 or 3 days
Tennessee
ago, yeah.
and Oregon had the community colleges free for quite a while now. So 2-year college is free if you want to go to Tennessee or Oregon. In New York, in the state of New York, he decided to take it a step further and said all public universities 4-year education free. So now they're waiting to see whether it's going to be a disaster or not. Yeah.
Okay, so we've seen the bottom fall out of the housing market. The fear now is that like the auto loan industry is about to do the same thing. Do we think that it's possible that we will see the bottom fall out of
Student loans.
well, not student loans specifically, just college education?
Well, I looked
Yes,
at the.
I do. Yes, definitely,
so,
because the bottom line is that when the Americans were looking at Japan after the war, and they went into Japan and were helping rebuild Japan, one of the leading gurus, if you like, was saying, always remember who you call when your pipe bursts. And plumbers, there are always going to need to be plumbers. There's always going to need to be someone who takes the trash out. And so you're going to have.
So Mueller has a job.
Yeah.
Mueller will say,
Well, we will always need police officers.
if you need to take a trash out.
You're going to need police officers.
Right.
And those people are going to earn. And so having a close relative who runs a restaurant, a chain restaurant, who earns more money than a kid coming straight out of dentist school, it makes the point.
Right.
I think there's always going to be that. And it's all very well sitting in a class and being able to talk for hours on end about some
Constitutional crisis. Yes.
Yeah, right. Bottom line is they can't change the wheel on a car, the tire on their car.
So is that
can
what
do
you
both.
you meant by the bottom falling out of it? So you've spent all this money to get a college education and it becomes worthless?
Essentially, yeah. That people just stop.
Stop valuing a college education?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So what do
Well,
they
that's an
value?
interesting
that's,
thought.
That's the thing. What will they value next? And
Skills.
and exactly. And so someone like yourself, who will have gone through college twice, effectively,
Right.
but was also brought up the hard way, frankly. Your dad had a garage, and so you can fix cars. Do you see what I mean? So you have 3 lines. And I think it's that experience. It's what people used to call worldly wise.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Don't forget selling his body.
Yeah, and that.
purity.
But kids,
gonna go on
it's
for a while.
Kids used to go on. Not they don't call it national service. What was it called?
It's called national service.
No. Where they would go off and do
Peace Corps.
Peace Corps.
Yeah.
Peace Corps.
The toughest job you'll ever love.
If you've got a kid who walks out of university and you've got a kid who walked out of university, did a year in the Peace Corps, who are you going to hire? If she's got very long legs, well, then it's an obvious answer. But in general
I can't
terms,
believe you said that.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
I only just said it because I'm hoping my wife might hit me.
Me too.
No.
All right,
I'm gonna
I
give you
think
blush.
we got us. I think
it's
we've
time to-
sort of got our arms around this topic. I think we got to say goodbye. I think I want to
Now is
ask
the time to
Ivo
say goodbye.
for our sponsors for this week.
Let's see, sponsors this week. This week we're sponsored by Tickle Me Elmo.
No.
Oh, I
By the
remember that.
Tyco Toy Corporation. If you have to buy your 2-year-old child, a toy for Christmas, why not buy a furry animatronic schizophrenic creep with a bizarre exotic fetish, buy Tickle Me Elmo. Me personally, for $38.99 plus tax, that's over $40. I would tickle a fucking whore. You know, but hey, you might have different interests.
That was
You might
different.
have
That was different.
That was
interests.
a little bit different.
1996, Tickle Me Elmo, you had to fight, if you guys remember.
The
You had to
extreme
fight
version, right?
dangerous
Wasn't it?
people.
Yeah.
On a giant
They were
2,000
gone.
people line outside of Walmart.
And now you can't find a Toys R Us.
If it was up to me, I'd rather buy
A
Tickle
cricket bat.
No, Tickle Me Chucky. Tickle Me Chucky would be a good. But hey, go ahead, buy the toy, and all I want to say is tickle this, Elmo.
Let's thank the panel.
Before Evo can remember to talk about cricket, could you please give us the introduction for all the people that are going to miss it?
The introduction, yes.
The introduction.
It's the introduction.
Oh.
We just want to hear the word thrombustrous.
Well, introduced in my absence was an amusing application of elusive alliteration used with the pointed, pungent perspicacity of a thrilling threnody, rapturous, rippling rumbustriousness. The panel tonight included the indomitable Kathleen Taylor.
Hello.
Yes, the Transylvanian Dark Lord of Literature and Pheromones, Mr. Ivo Ivanov.
Yes.
The smartest man in the world's younger brother, the magic Dr. Orlando, and guesting was
He's waving.
Mr.
He just
Fernando,
waved at the
and our friend Brenan, recently gratificated from some minor university somewhere, and our engineer, of course, who was also being the producer tonight, our good friend Neil Rasmus.
I would rather.
Oh God, here we go.
I would rather listen
Cut.
to 8 hours of these
Cut.
horrific introductions than watch 10 minutes of cricket.
Good night.
Thank you, folks. You've been listening to Wednesday Night Undressed.
Thank you.